My calendar auto-accepted at 2:04 a.m. The invite said room 217, use my name. At 2:04 a.m. my calendar did something I hadn't asked it to do since the year I thought automation would save my soul. It auto-accepted an invite. The phone gave a modest buzz like a waiter clearing his throat. Event added, room 217, use my name. 2:33:15 a.m. Metropole. There was no organizer photo, just an email that read like a stage direction. R. Collins at somethingfund.org. Yep. I lay there and watched the blue block appear in the dark mode grid of my night. The bed next to me was a geography lesson. Ivy's warmth, then the diplomatic border where our argument had slept, then me. We fought about a lamp and what a lamp stands for. We are old enough to argue about symbols now. I tapped details. The event had attached a note. No front desk. Service elevator. Call when you're close. The calendar had accepted because months ago, when I still believed convenience was a form of care, I'd turned on auto-add invites. It was meant for meetings I couldn't afford to miss. Now it had decided I couldn't afford to pretend I didn't see. You can run your life like a courtroom or like a kitchen. At 2:06, I chose kitchen. I went to the living room, turned on one lamp and set the phone on the table face up as if honesty were a household god that liked offerings. The window made rain look important. The building sighed in pipes. Our dog stretched one paw off his pillow like a reluctant witness. I did the thing I do when fear tries to get dressed as heroics. I texted Mara. I keep her in my phone as Ask the Hard Way. We met because she once told me in a cafe that spectacle is sugar and intimacy is bread. I wrote, auto-accept at 2:04, room 217, use my name. I'm choosing bread but my mouth wants dessert. She replied in 3 dots and 1 sentence. Put the calendar on the table. Leave the front door unlocked for accuracy, not for guests. By 2:11, accuracy knocked. It wasn't him, it was the building itself, the polite buzz of the intercom like a cough. I pressed talk. Yes. Sorry to bother, Enrique the night porter said, his voice embroidered with caution. Man in the lobby says he's returning a scarf for Ms. Ivy. He asked for your apartment, says she'll know. You want me to send him up? Ask his name, I said. A tiny pause, a paper shuffle. Rowan, Enrique said. The name traveled up the wire like a sigh. Tell him we're closed, I said. Tell him the scarf learned to walk. I locked the door because even accuracy needs never to be stupid. And then I unlocked it again because Mara had written, leave the front door unlocked for accuracy. And obedience is sometimes my best virtue. At 2:19 the calendar flashed again. Updated. Room 217 now 2:45:3:15. My phone suggested a route to a lobby carpet that has opinions. I put the phone face down. I went back to bed because sometimes justice is sleeping until you have a chance at gentleness. I didn't sleep. I rehearsed the wrong movie, the elevator, the line at the desk, my face in a mirror built to flatter better men. Then the door opened softly and Ivy came in the way a person does when they've spent an hour underwater and are mad at the ocean for being so convincing. She saw the lamp, the phone, me pretending to be neutral. She tugged off her heels one by one, leaning on the wall like the building owed her something. You saw, she said. I didn't go, I said. I'm proud and a little disappointed, she said, smiling the most accurate smile we own. She came to the table and read the event like it was a dare she'd forgotten to be bored by. Auto-accept, she said. We need to tell your settings they aren't allowed to be braver than you. He tried the lobby, I said. He pretended to return a scarf. Of course he did, she said. He is a museum that thinks himself a friend. Do you want a scene, I asked, or do you want accuracy? Bread, she said simply, because she's learned. She sat and put her palms flat on the table as if it might take dictation. He's been rehearsing an apology for months, she said. He likes to misname control closure. He sent that invite because he believes inevitability is a genre and he is the author. He wanted me to feel pre-expected, to melt into a slot he built. And you? I asked. I hated how soft my voice was and loved that it could be. I stood in the rain under the awning and texted him to meet me where the carpet can't lie, she said. He replied with a paragraph that used longing like a line item. I turned my phone face down because I remembered an old rule. If a sentence can't make your life safer, it doesn't get to be called urgent. She reached for my hand. It's a move that always makes me forgive the room. I'm not pure, she said. I wanted, for 10 solid minutes, to be wanted more than I wanted us. I wanted to be my own bad idea and then send myself home. But the problem with rehearsing sin is that the lines get in your mouth. I came upstairs. I told Enrique to tell him good night. I put my key in our door and remembered I like the way this lock sounds. The dog came to sit on her foot like he'd been waiting to keep score. Do you want to go to bed? She asked. Or do you want me to show you I remember us first? Show me, I said, because accuracy without touch is a deposition. We didn't go to the bedroom to erase anyone. We went because bodies can make grammar where language panics. She stood in front of me, and I raised the zipper of her dress in that slow, specific way that makes fabric admit it's a costume. The sound the cloth made was small and faithful. We don't do spectacle. We do exact. She put my palm at her hip and pressed until the weight said stay. I put my mouth at the hinge of her jaw where her certainty breathed, and she said my name like an answer key. We checked in here, slower, more, in soft syllables that belonged to us and nobody else. We laughed once because a sleeve decided to audition for mime and she rescued me with her teeth. Heat didn't rush. It assembled, tied instead of gasoline. When we came apart together, it felt like signing our names to something that remembers us. After, with the window cracked so the city could hear how ordinary survival sounds, she said into my collarbone, I thought about not telling you. I thought about making it my private triumph. I thought about going to the hotel, I said, to make it my private speech. We are ridiculous, she said, and the word was so affectionate it made me want to be worthy. Rules, I said, because ritual is how you convince your bravery to keep showing up. Tools, not bars. She grinned against my chest. One, she said. No event gets to add itself to our life after midnight without both of us clicking accept. Two, I said. If a lobby is required, we require daylight. No carpets after 11. Three, she said. Novelty is a chore. On your weeks, you pick the wrong hour for the right thing. On mine, I move the furniture until the light has to learn us again. Four, I said. When either of us misses being somebody's emergency, we say it out loud, and then we do 3 stupid, ordinary things until the wanting behaves. Peel oranges over the sink. Play one song to the end before anything important. Kiss in the doorway until the apartment feels like we meant it. We did them because midnight is a bully and you have to give it chores. We peeled oranges. The air turned new. We played a song that knows about apology without trying to sell it back to you. We kissed in the doorway while the building made the noises buildings make when they're trying to be supportive. The next morning, I turned off auto accept. I unsubscribed from the belief that convenience equals love. I wrote Enrique a thank you that included a coffee gift card, because the city runs on men who know when to say no to men who think they're poems. Ivy made coffee and read aloud from a student essay about restraint that wasn't terrible. The line that stuck: "Discipline is desire with a map." "I want our map," she said, and tapped the calendar icon like a cat. A week later, I saw Rowan outside a gallery where sincerity was for sale in frames. Navy, of course. He had that bright, bruised look of a man who has recently learned that wanting loudly is not the same as being right. He spotted me and tried on benevolence. "You're lucky," he said. "She's rare." "I know," I said. "I train for luck." He smiled the way men smile when they hope their cologne is a second chance. "If you ever get bored." I turned off auto accept, I said. "Try the museum." I went a loom because victory tastes better if Anna names it. She slid a cookie across the counter and refused my pretend refusal. "Bread," she said, tapping the counter like a blessing. Mara texted a photo of a marquee, LISTNING watching. Under it, she sent a single heart without a period. That's her way of saying continue. Sometimes the calendar still tries to be a prophet. It will suggest focus time, 2-3 a.m., as if attention were a sacrament best practiced when you have none left. We laugh and schedule something greedier: sleep. On Thursdays, we move the couch 2 inches and watch the light forget and remember us. On Sundays, we play one song to the end before anything important because attention is the muscle we choose to show off. Last night at 2:04 again, because time likes the taste of symmetry, the phone buzzed with a calendar alert I'd created for myself in my own words, my own blue square. Room 1 lights on, 2 people, no audience. Ivy looked at the screen, then at me, then stepped toward me with the warm, unserious confidence of someone who knows she's coming home to the ceremony she built with her hands. "Accept?" she asked. I touched the check mark. My chest did that thing a good room does when it recognizes its owners. We put the phone face down. We practiced the grammar that doesn't require translation. At some point, the ceiling forgave us for practicing again. The dog sighed like a critic who finally hears what he came for. We are not pure. We are precise when we can be and kind when we are. We use knives on onions and not on each other. When the world tries to auto-add itself to our night, we light one lamp, leave the door unlocked for accuracy and nobody else, and pick the sentence we can live inside. Sometimes it's hers. Sometimes it's mine. Most nights it's a chorus. It always ends in our kitchen, with citrus under our nails and a calendar that knows who it works for.